super. So I remember reading about like when the Berlin Wall fell down, a lot of like ideas like flooded into Europe, especially like in Eastern Europe,
Mhm.
where like there would be like churches popping up and everywhere.
Sure.
This is like, how does like the rest of the world like view it? Like, are there like controversies over like seas in like other countries?
So it depends. It depends on the country, because there are countries
Because like
that
there's a
you
huge
would assume
cultural
are pretty
difference.
civilized, have some pretty crusty stuff still going on. Russia being one of them. I mean, I don't know if you're
Mhm.
apprised of what's going on with uh, both the Scientologists, but also Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia.
No,
But
no, I
oh
don't know.
God, it's terrible. Um,
Please tell
Jehovah's
me.
Witnesses specifically, and if you've seen any anti-Jehovah's Witness stuff, I would bet that there is Russian propaganda behind that in the U.S. also, because they are doing some heinous stuff. They basically went and said that Jehovah's Witnesses are a terrorist group,
Hmm.
um, and um, and anybody caught practicing as a Jehovah's Witness or in a group at all, in a prayer group at all, can get arrested. And so they've been arresting people for praying. Um,
Hmm.
Never mind, proselytizing or trying to tell somebody else that they should be a JW or something like that. Just simple prayer. And they seized 100% of the JW's assets, including their like $35 million administration building. They just seized it and said it belongs to us now.
Hmm.
You're illegal. It's nutty. Um, there's been some stuff like that that's happened to Scientologists. There are some legal cases right now. There's some people that got arrested simply because they were Scientologists. The government already acknowledged, no, you weren't doing anything wrong. You were just being a Scientologist. Um, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Of course, Putin is like, oh no, oh of course they're okay. At the same time, yeah.
I think it was in Germany, like they view Scientologists almost as terrorists. And can you like, is there a big misconception or
Oh my
something
God. So
happening?
there's a couple people who were involved in that specifically. There are some people that were working for the government. One of them, her name was Ursula Caberta, that was running a whole program to basically attempt to um, stigmatize and in an attempt to um, well, really to just drive us completely out of the country, to end up investigate and plant evidence and do all kinds of
Mm.
just crazy stuff. They wanted us to wear armbands like they did in the
Oh.
like in the
Yeah.
pre World War II with the Jews. They wanted us to wear Scientology armbands. They actually for a time for they temporarily were causing people to get fired from their jobs. They got laid off because they were Scientologists. They were meant people when they try to get public jobs or jobs in any public funded museum or anything like that, they'd have to sign a thing that says, "I am not a Scientologist." It was rough.
Wow.
It was rough.
Is
It took um, many a lot of legal wrangling. We ended up getting submitted to this whole gosh, it was we were under surveillance, full-time 24-hour surveillance for like 5 years. And when they finally
Mhm.
didn't find anything wrong for 5 years of us being full-time surveilled, they finally went, okay, guys, listen, Ursula, this is a complete friggin' waste of money. They're not doing anything wrong.
Mhm.
And it finally got all dropped. But yeah, no, it was kind of it was rough there for a while. I mean,
Yeah, and
it's fine there now. I mean, I was in Berlin last June, and I was in
wow.
Munich and so forth. We've got a
Mhm.
beautiful church in Berlin. Um, Definitely, there was active these folks that were still running things were actively trying to keep us from getting a nice new building in Berlin, but that failed. We were brilliant building there. We've got churches all across Germany that are doing quite well.
Mhm. I read the same thing was happening in France, correct?
Same thing was happening in France. There were a couple people that were trying to do the same stuff in France that all got thrown to pieces. Same stuff in Belgium. It's yeah, it's been happening. Well, it's been happening over the years, really, for on and off since the beginning. And it's really just since we did the first time that we pissed off an organization that had a lot of money. Is that if
But
there's one thing that we don't have is yes, we've got enough money to be able to have a building and pay some staff and have people around, in comparison to any of these organizations, especially ones like pharma, we don't compare. We're like three orders of magnitude off from the amount of resources they have at their disposal.